2009 Chinese Grand Prix, upside-down flag. In April 2009, Formula One had returned to China with all the pomp of an international sporting event. The podium was set, champagne bottles were ready, and millions were watching the live broadcast. Then came the mistake that no one could ignore. The Chinese national flag was hoisted upside down. The ceremony froze in time. To fans in the grandstands, it was instantly obvious. On global television, cameras captured the red banner with its large golden star pointing the wrong way. In a sport that prides itself on precision, this was a glaring diplomatic embarrassment. China had invested heavily to stage its Grand Prix and project an image of power on the world stage. Yet the visuals turned into a worldwide punchline. Media outlets quickly labelled it a humiliation. Photos of the podium spread across newspapers and online forums, magnifying the error long after the checkered flag had fallen. The FIA and organisers faced questions about how such a simple but symbolic detail slipped through. For the drivers, the moment passed quickly, but for China's home race, the upside-down flag became more memorable than the result itself. 2012 Bahrain Grand Prix, national anthem cut short. This one was already under a microscope. Political protests surrounded the event, global media questioned why the race was happening, and organisers wanted every second of the broadcast to look flawless. Then came the anthem. As drivers lined up, hands on hearts, the orchestra began Bahrain's national song. But a few bars in, the music skipped. Entire verses vanished as the musicians fumbled, cutting the anthem short. Drivers exchanged side glances. Officials stood stiffly as if nothing happened. And fans at home were left wondering if the broadcast had glitched. For Bahrain, it couldn't have been worse timing. The anthem is the centerpiece of national pride, especially in front of a global audience. Cutting it short made the ceremony feel broken, and, given the political backdrop, critics seized on it immediately. Motorsport outlets reported the mistake as a major embarrassment. Once the lights went out, the race unfolded normally on track. But when the weekend wrapped up, the anthem fail was what people remembered most. 2017 Canadian GP, Winnie Harlow waves too early. The Canadian Grand Prix had been smooth sailing. Lewis Hamilton was dominating the race, Sebastian Vettel chasing from behind, and the crowd buzzing. Then, as Hamilton crossed what should have been lap 69, a mistake on the sidelines changed everything. On the main straight, supermodel Winnie Harlow, invited by F1 to wave the checkered flag, raised it one lap too soon. She unfurled the flag in front of the world, signalling the race was over when 70 laps had been scheduled. Hamilton, leading comfortably, immediately radioed his team. "They're waving the flag a lap early." The broadcast caught the confusion in real time. Race control had to step in fast. According to the FIA's own rulebook, once the flag is shown, the race is technically classified from the lap before. That meant the official results had to be rolled back to lap 68. Luckily, the order didn't change at the front, but for teams in the midfield, it was an awkward adjustment. The moment went viral. Clips of Harlow waving early filled social media within minutes, with memes flooding Twitter. Some fans laughed. Others blamed race officials for putting a celebrity in charge of something so precise. Hamilton himself defended Harlow later, saying she had simply been told to wave when instructed. 2018 Monaco Grand Prix, Grid Girls return after ban. Early 2018, Formula One made headlines worldwide when Liberty Media announced the end of Grid Girls. The new owners called the practice outdated, and the decision split the fanbase. Some cheered it as modernisation, others saw it as tearing up decades of tradition. Most races adapted quickly, until Monaco. When the circus rolled into Monte Carlo that May, organisers decided the rule didn't apply to them. As drivers lined up on the grid, the cameras caught a familiar sight: models in glamorous outfits standing alongside the cars. For a sport that had just declared the era over, the return looked like open defiance. Monaco defended its choice, calling Grid Girls part of the heritage of the Grand Prix. The decision sparked debate across the paddock. Some applauded the principality for sticking to its image, others blasted it as tone-deaf. Media outlets from the BBC to The Independent covered the uproar, framing Monaco as the outlier willing to bend F1's global message. 2019 Japanese GP, Fan Zone Flag Mix-Up. Suzuka is famous for its passionate fans. Every year, they show up in handmade costumes, waving banners and carrying flags for their favourite drivers. In 2019, the organisers wanted to highlight that spirit with a fan zone display featuring national flags. It was supposed to celebrate the driver's global reach, and instead turned into a viral mistake. When the flags went up, one of them didn't match the driver it was meant for. Fans quickly spotted the mistake, snapping photos and sharing them across social media. Within minutes, the mix-up was being laughed at around the world. For a country known for precision and attention to detail, the blunder stood out even more. The Japanese Grand Prix is one of the crown jewels on the calendar, steeped in tradition and respect. That made the mix-up feel even bigger than a small graphics error. Media outlets and fans alike highlighted the awkwardness, with some joking that the fan zones needed a fact-checker as much as a designer. The race itself delivered drama on track, with qualifying squeezed into race morning because of Typhoon Hagibis. But for many, the flag mistake became one of the weekend's lasting memories. 2020 Tuscan GP, Italian anthem glitch. September 2020 marked a milestone for Ferrari, their 1000th Formula One Grand Prix. The team chose Mugello, their own testing ground, for the big celebration. The entire weekend was dressed in deep burgundy throwback liveries, grandstands filled with Ferrari banners, and ceremonies meant to honour the Scuderia's history. Everything was set for a proud moment. Then came the anthem. As the Italian flag flew overhead and the band began to play, the audio cracked. Technical issues cut into the performance, leaving the anthem broken and awkwardly short. On Ferrari's centenary weekend, the song meant to showcase national pride fell victim to a sound failure broadcast around the world. For the team, it was a brutal piece of irony. Ferrari had organised air shows, special merchandise, and tributes to legends like Schumacher and Lauda. Yet, the one detail nobody expected to fail was the anthem. Fans online jumped on the moment instantly, joking that even the speakers had given up on Ferrari's struggling 2020 season. 2021 Hungarian Grand Prix. Rain chaos and flag confusion. This Prix already had the makings of chaos before the lights even went out. Rain had drenched the Hungaroring, and as the grid lined up for a standing start, cameras zoomed in on one of the strangest sights in years. Lewis Hamilton alone in his Mercedes on the starting grid. Every other driver had pulled into the pit lane for dry tyres, leaving the world champion the only car waiting for the lights. As the confusion unfolded, eagle-eyed fans noticed something else. The pit boards and national flags held by marshals weren't even correctly lined up. In the scramble to manage the bizarre one-car grid, flags were misplaced, boards mismatched, and the visuals looked more like an exhibition than the start of a Grand Prix. Photos of the scene exploded across social media. Hamilton by himself on the grid, backed by a line of misplaced flags, became an instant symbol of the madness. The race only got wilder from there. The opening lap saw carnage as Bottas triggered a massive crash, taking out multiple cars. Esteban Ocon went on to claim his first ever F1 victory, while Hamilton had to claw back through the field after his solo start strategy fell apart. But beyond the racing drama, that pre-race grid shot became unforgettable. One lonely car, a row of jumbled flags, and a reminder that even the most meticulously organised sport can still produce images straight out of a comedy sketch. 2022 Miami GP Circus Grid Presentation. When Formula One touched down in Miami for the first time in 2022, Liberty Media wanted more than a race. They wanted a spectacle. The Hard Rock Stadium was transformed into a festival. Celebrities packed the paddock, and the grid ceremony was unlike anything fans had ever seen. Out came cheerleaders, grid girls, pyrotechnics, and even LL Cool J narrating dramatic driver introductions like it was a boxing match. On paper, it was supposed to bring American showbiz flair to the sport. In reality, the presentation quickly turned into one of the most divisive moments of the season. Drivers looked uncomfortable as they were paraded down the grid one by one. Max Verstappen openly called it distracting and said he felt like a clown walking out to music before a race. Other drivers muttered about the pageantry taking away focus from the real job, racing. Fans were split. Some loved the entertainment and said it added energy to the event, while traditionalists blasted it as cheap spectacle. Social media lit up with memes comparing the intros to pro wrestling or an NBA All-Star game. 2023 Las Vegas GP, botched national anthem. The Prix was hyped as Formula One's biggest showpiece in decades. The strip was shut down, neon lights lit the skyline, and organisers promised a spectacle blending Hollywood with horsepower. Everything was running on maximum glitz until the pre-race national anthem. As drivers lined up on the grid, the ceremony stalled. Technical issues delayed the anthem, leaving 20 of the world's best racers standing awkwardly in silence. Cameras panned across the grid, catching Verstappen, Hamilton, and Leclerc, glancing around as if wondering what exactly was happening. Minutes ticked by before the performance finally started, but by then the damage was done. For a debut billed as the crown jewel of Liberty Media's US expansion, the anthem mishap was an embarrassment. Social media erupted instantly. Fans joked that Vegas had mastered fireworks, drones, and celebrity cameos, but couldn't manage a simple song. Memes compared the silence on the grid to a school assembly waiting for the music teacher to fix the stereo. The race itself delivered plenty of drama, with overtakes under the neon and a late fight for victory. But the anthem delay became one of the weekend's defining bloopers.